Hello unicorns, I welcome you all to a new video on this channel Tales of Unicorn. I took some time to come up with this video, but nevertheless I've compiled all the information that you need to know in a single video. I've also created chapters for your convenience, so if you're looking for information on one particular topic alone, then you can directly jump into that segment. But I would recommend you not to skip the video because I've included some interesting tips in between as well. So hi, if you're someone new to my channel, I'm Harita. I create content and mostly it's based out of travel, and right now you're watching the A to Z details about Singapore video. So let's get into the video. Singapore is a country that is hot and humid throughout the year. Rain showers can be expected any time and month of the year. Typically, monsoon is considered somewhere between December to Jan and June to September, but nevertheless, you can expect rain showers anytime. I went during mid-January and it only rained for a couple of hours, and that too only on one single day. Indian passport holders must get e-visa from India, so it's not visa on arrival for Indians. You can apply it through two ways. One is if you have any relative there, you can apply it through them, or the other way is you have to apply through local agents. On Singapore website, you have a list of local agents, so you can choose your agent from that list. I applied from Chennai and I did it through Akbar Travels, and it usually takes 5 to 7 days for processing, and my visa got processed just within 3 days of applying. But it is highly recommended for you to apply minimum 15 to 20 days prior to your travel date, and the visa cost per person is 3,000. The documents that you should submit will be sent by your agents itself, but make sure to have sufficient funds in your bank account and also follow the guidelines for clicking the photo. I mean, the photo which you're giving for the visa application, it's not the normal passport photo that you have at home. They have clear specifications for that photo, so make sure you follow all of them properly. Singapore has direct flights from major metropolitan cities, and the travel time like from cities Chennai, Kolkata, Vizag would be 4.5 hours, and from cities like Mumbai, Delhi, it would be around 5 to 6 hours. And the cheapest airline would be Scoot, and the next cheapest would be Indigo. But while booking these airlines, make sure to check the leg room, the baggage allowance, etc. And the comfortable and slightly expensive airlines would be Singapore Airlines. I booked Singapore Airlines from Chennai 4 months prior, and it costed around 27,400 per head for round trip, and you have lesser cost airlines as well, but I had time restrictions and also I wanted to try an international airline, and that's why I chose Singapore Airlines. As on date, travel insurance is not mandatory for travel to Singapore, but for any international travel you do, I would highly recommend you to get one beforehand because it could cover a lot of expenses under unforeseen circumstances. So I booked my travel insurance with the help of my visa agent, and it costed around 625 rupees per head. Singapore currency is Singaporean dollars, and 1 SGD is equivalent to 62 Indian rupees. So make sure to get your currency converted before you leave for your trip in India itself, and that too at some forex agents, because at airports the conversion rate will be so high. Visa and MasterCards are widely accepted around Singapore. So if you have some good cards with less markup fees, you can use that as well. But some local shops do not have card facilities, so in that case you might want to have extra cash. So always having extra cash is a plus for emergency reasons. Coming to SIM cards, if you need to buy a local SIM, do not get it at the airport as the cost is high. You can use the Wi-Fi in the airport, and once you get out of the airport, you can go to a 7-Eleven shop and get a SIM. So there was a 7-Eleven shop just below my hotel, and it really helped me. And there are different companies with different plans, and there are different SIM cards basically. So I got a card which was for 7 days, and they charged $12. So apart from that $12, you need not pay anything extra. Everything is covered, like your data, calls, everything will be covered in that, and that will be more than sufficient for you. And I recommend the companies M1 and Singtel. Ideally, Singapore is a small country, but it has so much to see and experience. So if you want to explore every nook and corner of the country and have a relaxed trip, then I would say somewhere between 10 to 12 days would be an ideal number. But considering not many people can afford those many days of holidays, I would say 5 to 7 days would be a good number. I actually did my trip for 4 nights and 5 days, and I was not able to see few attractions. So you can plan your trip accordingly, because some of the attractions require one whole day, like Gardens by the Bay, and especially if you want to explore the Changi Airport, you can keep one separate day for that, and that could be your departure day. Let's understand Singapore before we get into other details. So this is Singapore map. This is going to be your airport, and this is the area where you have a lot of other attractions, and this is where you might book your hotels as well. This is Sentosa Island, so you can reach here by cable car too. So screenshot the Singapore MRT map, as it can be helpful for you to figure out the in and around locality. As I said, this is going to be the city, and you can book your stays somewhere around here. If you are budget travelers or solo travelers, then you can see for hostels which range from 3,000 per night. But if you're on decent stays, family hotels, then it would start from 6,000, 7,000 per night to even 8 to 9,000 per night. And this would vary depending upon the city, location, and the hotel amenities. Luxury hotels can be found around the Marina Bay area. But if you are specific about your food, like you want vegetarian food or Indian food, you might want to find your stay near Little India or Rochor area. If you don't have any such specifications, then you can book your stay around Orchard or Lavender area to get the city vibe. But wherever you choose to book, just make sure that your hotel is very nearby the MRT. So I stayed at Ibis Styles Singapore Albert, which is like a 3-minute walk from the Rochor MRT and just 5 to 7-minute walk from Little India. I would highly recommend this stay because the hygiene was good, the amenities were really great. They had 7-Eleven shops nearby. It was very near the MRT, and I've made a detailed video about this stay, so you can check the link in the iCard above, or you can check for it in the description. Let's talk about the apps that you might need during your trip. So I booked all my attractions through the Klook app for the entry tickets. They offer really good discounts too. There are other apps like Get Your Guide, Head Out, etc. So see which suits you. If you're using public transport and MRT especially, I would highly recommend you to download this app called SG MRT. So it has the map of the Singapore MRT, like all the route stations, and it also has a feature where you can check the fare between two stations and the shortest distance through which you can cover. So please download this app. It's a saver. Next, you can use Singapore Air to pre-book your meals if you're traveling through Singapore Airlines, and you can also download a currency converter for your own convenience. If you want to book taxis, install Grab or Gojek, and if you wish to use cycles there, download AnyWheel app here in India and load some cash in it before you leave. And also, to get all the latest information on Singapore, download the Visit Singapore app. Singapore has one of the most amazing public transportation, and it easily connects each and every place conveniently. So MRT is going to be your first option, and public buses are going to be your second option to travel. But if you're going to use taxis, be aware that the cost will be like 10 times that you're going to spend for MRTs. So taxis are a bit expensive, and the only drawback of using MRT is that you have to walk a lot. I mean, inside the station, and from the station to the attraction, you have to walk a lot. So Singapore in general itself involves a lot of walking, so be prepared for that. The first main spot for shopping would be Bugis Street. It's such an amazing complex where you can get a bundle of things. Okay, the second place would be Mustafa Center, but I would not highly recommend that place because it is more for locals of Singapore, majorly Asians and Indian locals of Singapore, because there you can find a variety of Indian groceries and gadgets as well. But as a tourist, if you want to buy souvenirs and gifts for yourself and your family, you can go to Bugis Street. You really get good deals there. So there are items like keychains, and especially when someone says Singapore, the first thing that comes to your mind is the mascot, the Merlion, right? So you have varieties in Merlions like keychains, statues, and you even get bottles like this. You know, this is a Duro steel flask type of bottle. So you get beautiful attractions of Singapore printed on it. And there are so many other things like this t-shirt, for example. So handbags, purse, wallets, chocolates, and you get a lot more at Bugis Street. I have made a detailed detailed video of Bugis Street in my channel. Check the link in the iCard and description below. Food in Singapore is quite expensive, but hawker centers offer you quality food in economical cost as well. Singapore is a paradise for non-veg lovers. So if you are someone vegetarian looking for veg food, you are going to have a tough time looking for it. You know, even some of the outlets of McDonald's doesn't even have a veg burger. So in such cases, I would recommend you to book your stay near Little India because that place has so many delicious veg restaurants. In my channel playlist, you will find a detailed series of Singapore. So I've covered all the places to visit in detail. So you can check for that link in the description. So right now I'll give you a list of places to visit and you can plan your itinerary according to your preferences. Starting with Merlion, because obviously you have to visit the official mascot of Singapore. So in that area, you have Floating Apple Store, Art and Science Museum, Singapore Flyer, Marina Mall and Marina Bay Sands. So make sure to visit the observatory, that is the Sky Park Observatory deck at Marina Bay Sands during the evening. To know the reason, to check out my detailed video. Next, you have Gardens by the Bay, but make sure to keep one separate day for it if you need to explore it completely. And then you have attractions like Museum of Ice Cream and River Cruise at Clarke Quay. Singapore Zoo is quite far but well connected through the MRT, and Sentosa Island has so much to offer, and make sure to have 1 or 2 days separately for it, especially if you're going to visit Universal Studios. There are towns like Little India, Chinatown, Haji Lane, which you can explore by foot. And apart from these, also there are a lot of other attractions like Fort Canning Park, Botanic Gardens. But if you only have a lot of time, you can include these in your itinerary. Finally, coming to the very interesting part of the video, which is the budget. So Singapore is quite an expensive country to visit, so make sure to have your funds right. I'll give the cost for per person and 2 people as well. What you must know here is I spend most of my days having veg food at Little Indian restaurants, and I even skipped a couple of meals having cup noodles and snacks I took from India, and that's the reason the cost is low here. So please do not rely on this food cost while planning your budget. Have minimum 4,000 to 5,000 extra. So before I conclude this video, I would like to give you quick tips, do's and don'ts about Singapore. As I said at the start, Singapore is quite hot and humid, so carry light and breezy clothes and also umbrellas for the unexpected rain showers. Check if your hotel washroom has jet spray or carry a jet spray bottle like this. I ordered from Amazon and it costed around 400 bucks. Singapore is a city where you have to walk a lot even inside the attractions, so make sure to carry comfy shoes. There are Singapore Tourist Pass cards available, but I would recommend you to get the EZ-Link card, and I've even seen so many other people recommending this only for cost efficiency. Singapore is called the fine city, and they have fines for even the smallest of things, and mainly do not carry chewing gums because it is considered illegal there, and they also have fines for not flushing the toilet, littering the public places and so much more. So be a responsible tourist. Cross only using zebra crossings and only when the signal is green. Water is super expensive in Singapore, so carry your own water bottles and fill it from the hotels. Singapore tap water is drinkable. Follow the sign rules given everywhere. Eating inside MRT is prohibited. Singapore Airlines only offers check-in for 6 hours prior to your flight departure time. Other airlines like Indigo offers only 3 hours. So if you want to explore the airport free without your baggage, you can drop your baggage at a paid baggage area inside the airport. If you have bought any item for more than 100 Singapore dollars, then you can claim a GST refund for that in the airport. With this, we come to the end of Singapore series. I have so much to say about Singapore. Even I have a lot to experience there in Singapore, which I will do real soon. And yeah, but other than this, I want you all to go and have an amazing experience during your trip. So in my Instagram account, which is Tales of Unicorn, you can find quick bites of information in the story highlights. And still, if you have any more queries, you can drop them in the comments below, or you can ping me on my Instagram account, which is Tales of Unicorn. I will try my best to help you out. So yeah, please subscribe to my channel, and to all my OG unicorns who have been following me for quite some time now, I have a big life update coming. So to watch that, stay tuned with my channel. So I'll see you real soon with that video. Until then, unleash the unicorn in you.